Hello, Ciarán.
Hi, Carole. Hi, how are you?
Hi, my name is Carole, and this is my colleague Ciarán, and we're here today to carry on from last week's Library Café, which was dealing with essays and assignments. And I know there were a number of topics that Anya and Fiona didn't get time to cover because it's such a big topic. So we thought today that we would try and cover three themes that came up. One was the background reading, one was editing, and then referencing. So, Ciarán, over to you. The background reading, that can be a dangerous rabbit hole, can't it? Where do you start with doing your background reading for an essay?
Well, hopefully that there will be a certain amount of material supplied to you from your lecturer. So you should have a reading list, and there should be, essential readings, supplementary readings, and that should give you details of what books you should be reading, what articles you should be reading. And to find those, the best place to actually look for those is probably to go to Library Search, which is just here on the library homepage, and just go into your advanced search. And once you're in there, then you can search, by author, by title, by publication. If you don't have that, you can just search by a subject area. So, for example, let's do a quick search just to show you what it might look like.
And of course, important to say that everything you'll find on Library Search is scholarly peer-reviewed material.
And that's right. And that whole quality control thing is really important. You need to show that you're using good quality sources. So you're not using, Wikipedia or Google. You need to be using good scholarly peer-reviewed sources. And the thing actually as well, just to remind as well, very important as part of that background reading, when you're approaching a topic for the first time and you're not that familiar with it, which effectively you're going to do is scanning the resources. So it's very important to keep good notes as you go along. Look at the book. Does that look suitable? Can you use that? Does a certain article look good? Can you use that? Take a few notes, keep detailed notes of where you got it from, what sections you want to use, that kind of thing. And that'll kind of give you confidence then as you go forward, because you'll feel that you're, putting together a bit of a collection of resources on your set topic.
And because we're currently off campus as well, it's important to say that the filters there on the left of the screen where you can refine your search, you can narrow the results down to ebooks and e-journal articles only, which is so useful. And we have so much electronic material. You're sure to find plenty of resources.
Yeah,
so just to point that out to students.
Yeah, absolutely. And just make sure you're logged in for off-campus access as well.
When yes, yeah. I would recommend people, on the library homepage, do the off-campus access bit first. If you just get into the habit of that, it just saves you being knocked out. So it's just there, off-campus access, and in you go with your MU username and password, and then you're good to go with any resource you find through Library Search.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And also the core text that you've been, your recommended reading, they too will have good bibliographies. So you could look there and see who they cited. And that can be a good one if you're really stuck and you don't know where to get started.
Yeah, well, that's often, once you find one decent, kind of seminal work, it's going to lead to other ones. You'll see.
Lead you onto something else.
What books that author cited, what's in his bibliography, and just go from there,
Yeah.
But be careful that you don't get too bogged down in the whole looking for material bit.
Yeah.
That you need to just
yourself.
stop. Just stop at some point and just get writing. That you need to write a paper, and you probably have a sense of how many books you'll need to use, how many articles you need to use, and it varies depending very much what level you're at.
And it doesn't have to be exhaustive, but what you find has to be good.
Yeah.
And that's what we can offer through Library Search.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to show that you're engaging with the literature, that you understand, what's been written on the topic.
Hopefully now that's given people food for thought on that one. So, Ciarán, any advice regarding the editing? And I suppose it's important to say that the departments themselves will have produced a handbook which students get when they start their studies. So it's probably some good advice there anyhow.
Well, absolutely. And very important to follow the guidelines of your department, to, follow the structures for essays that they recommend, because you're writing the paper for them and to suit that subject area. So very important to follow that.
But would we have any guides on writing?
We do, yeah. If you go into guides and tutorials, again, the library homepage, into research support, and have a guide here called Writing Your Thesis, but it's not just for thesis, we do for essays as well.
Oh, so this could be used for just general essays and assignments?
It can.
Great.
And particularly this academic writing resources one. So a section in there, and then here are links to a few essay writing guides, and this one is actually quite good.
Super.
So I click into that, and you can see they actually have it broken down by the different, sections of the essays. So, for example, drafting and editing. You go in there, and they have the basics: first draft, second draft, getting your essay into shape.
Well, I would really recommend students to bookmark that page.
Yeah, no, definitely very useful. And great to see it laid out in a nice structured way that you can follow.
Yeah. And not too lengthy. I mean, it looks like it's very concise. It tells you what to do, and you can pick and choose.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and you'll find ebooks on that as well.
True. Yeah, and you'll find those through library search.
Yes, the resources are there. So either your handbook or come to a resource like this and just have a look, and that'll bring you through the full process of drafting and editing your paper.
Right. Well, Ciarán, I suppose one of the bugbears that a lot of students have is referencing. Even students who've been here quite a while, I think it's just a skill that people feel a bit about.
Yeah.
And I know you're our research librarian, so no better person than to just emphasize the importance of honing that skill, because it's something you'll use throughout your time in college.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Very important to get the referencing right from the get-go. And once you develop that skill, it'll stand with you. And very important for a couple of reasons. First of all, you're obviously giving credit to the person's works that you're using. And also it's great with showing off, what you've read in supporting your essay. So again, for this one, there's a guide, research support again, into referencing and avoiding plagiarism. And here's a guide. So this first section will tell you exactly, what referencing is, why you do it. And obviously they're creating your argument and bringing your references into your essays. I have a section on plagiarism. So obviously,
very important.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of things going on there with the referencing. First thing, obviously, you're giving due credit to the author. You're showing, what sources you've used, but also you're avoiding plagiarism. Once you're citing, you're not plagiarizing.
Yeah.
So you need to cite, any references you make to articles, any quotes you use, you need to reference all the time. And then there's also
their handbooks will inform what style, and that's a really
absolutely
thing, because some departments might use a style with a few little edits or preferences of their own. So adhering to what they want is the number one rule. And then using that's another great guide that I would bookmark, because again, you'll be using that whether you're an undergraduate, postgraduate, no matter what you're doing. This is a really useful tool to have here. And students, I think, sometimes forget that there's points to be gained here. You'll get so many marks for your essay, but your referencing is another area that you could possibly just up your game or your grade a little bit more attention.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I say, apart from kind of showing off, what you've read, it also, it's a kind of a thing you can get it 100% right. You can just get your referencing correct, and you will not lose any marks then. So be ashamed to lose marks. And I'd say the styles are all here. Whatever department you're in, they'll have their own style, and you can check what they look like. There's examples of referencing. And then actually, if you're feeling very adventurous and you're happy with software, there's also reference management tools that'll do your referencing for you.
They're wonderful.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely life-changing.
Yeah, they do the work for you.
Yeah. So the idea is, as you find a reference, so say you find an article, you can export all the details of that article. So the author, the title, the publisher, volume, issues, all that kind of thing. You save those into your reference management tool, and then when you come to write your paper, you'll have a little plugin that'll be in your Word document. So it'll create the in-text citations, the footnotes, the bibliographies, in whatever style you want. So fantastic. That's fantastic. So as you finish your essay, all your referencing is done. There's no more having to go back and do your referencing. So
absolutely,
very useful.
Playing around with, if you're not familiar with those, there's no harm in doing a mock trial, and just play around with sending yourself some references and just how you'd share them and file them and whatever. That's their great skills.
And it's the kind of thing as well, like you mightn't necessarily need it in your early undergraduate days, but certainly as you go on towards the end of your undergraduate into postgrad, absolutely essential. And all the details are there, how to set it up.
I'm not forgetting that we haven't gone away. I know we're not on campus at the moment, but through any of those guides, as well as the library homepage, there's ways of contacting us if you were having difficulty in that area.
Absolutely.
So
feel free to contact us.
Always happy to help.
Yeah.
So, gosh, Ciarán, that was a whistle-stop tour through background reading, editing and referencing, hopefully given some good information and tips to our students. And just to say, next week will be cafe number 8 and our colleagues Frank and Saoirse will be here. And I think the plan is to cover study and exam prep, which is aptly timed. So Ciarán, thanks so much for sharing all that.
Very welcome.
Okay,
great talking to you.
Till next time. Thank you.
Bye bye everybody. Bye bye.